Matthew, All for St Paul's is your ride in race 4 on Wednesday night. He's a horse very much in form coming into this week's race.
Yeah, he's off a last start win, so all seems good.
Just on that win last time out, obviously he went forward. He seems to have a really great attitude, this horse. Didn't want to get beaten. You must have been quite taken by the performance.
Well, he's shown he's very honest and he tries his best. And it's a great pleasure to ride horses that do their best.
He's coming back to the all-weather. He has won on the all-weather over a little bit further. I guess no concern there as far as switching surface?
You wouldn't think so. I said he's won on the track, so his form, I believe, has been held. So hopefully another good performance.
Just given the nature that he runs his races, Matthew, he's drawn well. There's plenty of pace on in this race. Is he the type of horse that sort of could hand up the lead, or does he necessarily have to lead?
Well, last season I won on him setting just off the pace, so I don't think it's a must. We'll have to see how much pace is in the race and what they want to do early. I haven't spoken to Frankie yet, so it was just a wait and see approach at the minute and see what the tactics are.
Given the nature of this race, obviously on the all-weather, he actually drops 3 pounds as well. So I guess that's going to be a positive factor as far as trying to make it a 3-timer, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the weight he's got to carry isn't all that heavy, so it's got to be a benefit, especially over the further distance. So looking forward to riding him again.
You're 2 from 2 on the horse. It'd be nice to keep that unbeaten record, I'm sure. Always nice to create this relationship with certain horses, I suppose.
Oh, for sure. A winner's a winner. And when you can string up those consecutive wins, it's definitely a feather in the hat. So hopefully it continues.
Zach Fiery Diamond, a last start winner for you and Benno Young. He goes to the races again on Wednesday night. He did it quite well last time.
He didn't begin well, so he got himself in a bit of an awkward spot, but the pace suited and even more so the track by suited. Horses on the fence and forward that day had no chance, and the bias sort of hadn't really presented itself at that stage. It obviously showed its hand as the meeting progressed, but he was just in the right spot on the day and was able to take that advantage. It's going to be a different story this time, but he has shown his versatility in that he can come off the pace and be effective, so he doesn't have to be driven up there like he has been in the past.
It leads me on quite nicely actually, because he's drawn gate number 1. He has shown pace in the past and gone forward. Is that very much an option in your mind coming into this race?
Oh, he's got 2 options now. If he begins really well like he can do, there's no reason why he can't lead, and if other horses are quicker than him, he can certainly take a sit. He's shown that.
You mentioned the track bias last time. Just wanted to ask, sort of in the latter part of the race, is he the type of horse that just hits that little bit of a flat spot? He just seems to take that little bit of time to really wind up.
Well, he doesn't change his leg, so he doesn't allow himself to find that fresh leg and sprint accordingly off it. He's on his tired leg, and therefore he just goes one paced and doesn't seem to be able to accelerate and find that next gear. And that's something he's done throughout his whole career, and he still hasn't got it right yet. So I think he's too far gone now to be expecting him to do it.
You and Benno have teamed up to good success already this year. I think obviously the majority of them have been on the all-weather. It'd be nice to continue that trend. Yeah,
sure. Benno's always been a great supporter of mine. We have a lot of luck together, and he presents his horses well when I ride them, and hopefully we can just keep put them in the back of the net.
Jamie, FAULDS will be your first runner, or one of your first, on the all-weather here in Hong Kong. He's trialled well recently, this fella.
Yeah, he's a transfer, but he's trialled up a couple of times quite well. He's quite a big horse. Been pleased with his trials. We put the blinkers on him for his second trial, and he seemed to cruise to the line quite nicely. But it's a bit of a learning curve with him, really. He's bred to be okay on the dirt. He's out of a mineshaft mare, and the owners were keen to have a go. So we thought we'd give him a chance first up and see how we get on.
Just an overall sort of assessment of those 2 trials that he's had for you. I mean, the last of them, he got his head in front, albeit just of Flying Ace, who's a handy horse. So I guess reading between the lines, he's certainly operated well on the surface, hasn't he?
He has, and he is a horse that raced well last season. And he's one of those horses, like most of them in Hong Kong, that when they have a break and come back for their second season, they do seem to improve a little bit. but we've been happy with him at home. He's been under no pressure in his trials. It's just going to be interesting from a learning perspective for me how the tempo is and how he handles that race day speed compared to trial speed, which is obviously quite different. But we are happy with him. We've put the pacifiers on him to help with the kickback. I'm not sure what sort of effect that has, but as I say, it's a learning experience for me and for the horse.
You mentioned obviously him being sort of a nice type of horse. I think he's put on 13 pounds or thereabouts. So are you happy with the way he's strengthened up since you've had him?
Yeah, he's put on a bit of weight. He wouldn't be the greatest eater for a horse of his size, and he doesn't seem to be a horse that takes a whole lot of work. So we've just tiptoed our way through the preparation a bit with him and learning as we go, but happy with how he's eating and his blood work seems good. So we go to the races happy with the horse, but as I say, race day pressure compared to trial pressure on the all-weather, we'll just have to wait and see.
Handicap has only given him an extra £1. He's only got an extra £1 to carry on his last start, which obviously wasn't for you. So I guess he's not too badly treated in the grand scheme of things. And what looks relatively open this race?
Yeah, Chris So's horse has got good form. He was impressive last time, and the clock suggests that the win was as good as it looked to the eye. But you know, the Class 3 1200 on the grass here on Sunday was an awful lot stronger than it is on Wednesday. So there's positives and minuses for him, but he goes into the race in good shape.
And I guess if he does handle the surface, Jamie, it gives you plenty of options going forward.
It does. As you say, he can continue to race on it if he handles it. If he doesn't handle it, it's only his first run for the season and we can get him back on the turf.
Zach Handsome 12 did a really good job last time when winning. You ride him again this weekend and you're putting an unbeaten record for yourself on the line.
Yeah, he did a really good job. He had to chase down a handy horse on the dirt. He's not easy to get past. He had a lovely run in the race and my plan was to try and track him, so that all worked out well. But I really had to dig deep and fight hard to get past him. Obviously, we meet him worse at the handicap this time and our barrier is not as kind as what it was last time. So he's going to need everything to go his way again. It'll come down to the tempo of the race and the run we get, but he's very honest and he'll run well.
I've noticed you've had a sit on him since. Did he feel like he's come out the race really well?
Yeah, well, Benno's horses don't do much in the mornings. They just tick over. It's just a matter of stretching their legs a little bit without doing too much. So it doesn't really matter what stage of their preparation they're at. They can handle that work pretty comfortably.
I guess the way this race has sort of worked out, he's not harshly treated. He's only gone up £4.
Yeah, you know, £4 more than last time though, yes. So it all adds up. Every point counts and every pound counts. So it's not going to be easy for him, but like I said, he's honest and he always performs well on the dirt.
Talking of adding up, you added another winner to the season's tally with Superb Boy. Were you quite taken by his performance? He looked very good on the weekend.
I didn't know what to expect coming into the race because he's still a little bit immature, and the time I trialled him, he was quite weak. The other trials he looked a little bit better, so I wasn't sure if he was going to fold under pressure when it came on in the race. But he stuck in there. He wasn't impressive, but he got the job done. Felt like he could still develop a bit. He's not the finished product, but it's not easy to win first time in Hong Kong, and he did that, so he did well.
One horse that did win first time in Hong Kong for you and Manfred Mann was Lucky Swain. It's just a line on him and his performance as well. I mean, he was very gallant in defeat. Yeah,
well, barriers win races, of course, especially on the weekend when everyone sort of was positive early and made him work to get across, and then he's ended up running good time on what was a fast track. The times were quite fast all day. Wasn't too much grass on the track, and it was quite firm. But you know, if you swap the barriers, might have been a different result. But he was gallant in defeat. It's just going to get harder from here on, though. We had £10 off the big boy Wellington on the weekend. We're only going to get 5 next time, and then equal weights after that. So we've got a tough task ahead of us. We're going to need barriers to help us. The champ's the champ, and he showed it again on the weekend.